afternoon. I have with me a 14-year-old young man. He weighs about 50 kilos. He's ASA 1, and he's been sedated with a bit of midazolam and fentanyl. He's got a plate in the forearm which needs to be removed. And I was asked to do a supraclavicular brachial plexus block, also called a subclavian perivascular block, with ultrasound in this young man. I have Dr. Rushali here with me to help in showing the sonoanatomy as I apply the probe on the patient's neck. But before I do that, I just want you to see this. I've used a Simsert sheath to make this probe sterile, and at the patient end of the transducer, I put a tegaderm, which is a biofilm, and while applying a tegaderm on the patient end of the transducer, we have to make sure there are no wrinkles there, because behind each small wrinkle you can have a bit of air, and air interferes with the transmission of ultrasound. So I have prepped his supraclavicular brachial plexus area with a bit of betadine. He's sleeping quite well, and this is a 50 mm insulated block needle. And as you know, as we've been telling in the workshop yesterday, before we put the needle in and start injecting, we have to make sure that the injection port and tubing is filled with the local anesthetic, because if you don't do that, you will get a splash of air when you inject, and that can interfere with the quality of your image. So I'm just going to dip this into betadine. I'm not going to be using gel. I'm just using betadine, and I'm going to place this in the coronal oblique plane just above the clavicle, as Dr. Kumar told to those who were with me in my workshop yesterday, and I'm sure that was what was told in the other workshops as well. Now, there are certain structures. The first structure that will stare out at you is the round to oval pulsatile subclavian artery there. And beneath the subclavian artery, you can see a long white line which is seemingly broken at one place, but that is actually not broken. That is the first strip. And beneath the first strip, you will have the pleura and you will have the lung. And superolateral to the subclavian artery, as Dr. Rushali is kindly pointing out, are the trunks or the anterior and posterior divisions of the trunks of the brachial plexus. Now that's all the brachial plexus there. And just above the brachial plexus, you see a darkish structure, which is the inferior belly of the omohyoid. So Rushali's put the marker there. Now, to look at, this seems to be a very, can I apply the color, Rushali, on the subclavian? Now, you can see the pulsation in the subclavian artery. There appears to be another similar color beneath the first strip. That actually is not another subclavian artery. This is very important to know when you use ultrasound. You need to be able to identify what is an artifact and what is not. That is a reverberation artifact. So there is a subclavian artery only above the first strip, not below. So this seems to be, can you please take off the color now? Yeah, this seems to be a very normal plexus. But yesterday, I'm sure you were told in your workshops that sometimes there are branches of the subclavian artery that can be in between the trunks or the divisions of the trunks of the brachial plexus. And that's exactly what you have in this young man. Now, if I release the pressure of the probe, you can see a vessel coming there. And when I try to follow it down, it is actually emptying into the subclavian there. That is the dorsal scapular artery, and in this young man, it is transecting his plexus into an inferior division and a superior division. So this is what ultrasound will help you do. It will help you pick up vessels which can be a part of the plexus. You can see the needle coming in from the right hand side. That is the indentation which the needle made. And Rushali is actually trying to point out the path, and I am probably at the corner pocket. What I'll do is I'll just try and orient. There it is. You can see the needle now?
Yes.
It's exactly at the corner pocket. Now I'm going to ask my assistant here to inject about 10 mils of local anesthetic. I have the honor of Dr. Ravindra Bhatt himself injecting. You can see the spread now.
Yes, sir.
You can see the plexus being lifted upwards.
Yes.
Okay? Okay?
Yes, clear.
Yeah. Now comes the tricky part. I have to ensure that my needle does not enter the dorsal scapular artery. I am going close to the plexus, inferior to the dorsal scapular artery. Please inject. Okay? Just another 4 mils. Yeah, thank you, sir. Now, what I will try and do is, for the superior part of the brachial plexus, I'll try coming in out of plane. That is to make sure that I don't inject any drug actually into the dorsal scapular artery. One more injection, Nilesh. You can see it coming there. It's just going through the inferior belly of the omohyoid. This is out of plane, so you won't be able to see the shaft of the needle. Yeah, I probably am close to the plexus. Can I just have a small injection? See that now?
Yes.
See that now? I am pushing the superior part of the brachial plexus down. Please inject, sir. See that now?
Yes, clear.
So you can see the plexus now. It's beginning to float within the local anesthetic. Yes?
Yes.
Can I just have another 4 ml? Sister, local anesthetic. How much have we injected totally? 20. Yeah, total. Yeah, another 4 ml should do, sir. That's enough. So I've injected a total of 25 ml in this young lad. And that's what I would like you to appreciate. This is what ultrasound helps you with. You can see the plexus now. It is totally surrounded by the local anesthetic. And we've been able to pick up the artery and we've been able to save the artery. We've not injected into the artery. You can see the artery is not, that's the artery there. See, no, see, that's the one. That's the artery there, and it is intact. So we've injected above the artery and below the artery. Thank you very much.
Well done, sir. So if the dorsal scapula was not interfering in your field, then usually what will be your plan? You
If
first
it
go
were,
for the corner
yeah.
pocket and then upper.
Yeah, can I have the needle? If it were not interfering with the field, what I would do is, just give me that bottle, please. Assuming this is the plexus and my finger beneath it is the corner pocket, I would go here, make my first injection,
Yes.
come back, go there, make my second injection, come back, try to go above the plexus, in between the inferior belly of the omohyoid and the top of the plexus, and make my third injection. So,
Just beneath the sheet.
yeah, you go all the way around the plexus. But having said that, I've said this yesterday in my workshop, that there are people who intentionally enter the plexus and implode the plexus with local anesthetic. And I mean, that is something you can argue for or against. But some people do it. I personally don't. I try my best not to implode the plexus. I try to deposit the local anesthetic around the plexus. If there's nothing